Good afternoon, everyone. Let me welcome all of you to this first session of the seminar. Subject today is the way forward for Kerala tourism. As you are all aware, today is the World Tourism Day, and let's celebrate the power of tourism in fostering peace through global connections, cultural exchange, and harmony. As one of the largest economic sectors, tourism supports livelihoods and drives sustainable development. By promoting responsible eco-friendly practices, we can unite communities, strengthen economies, and inspire peace. Wishing you a peaceful and meaningful 46th World Tourism Day. With these words, I have great pleasure to commence the seminar session today on the subject way forward for Kerala tourism. It's a recognized fact that tourism is the best bet for Kerala, a vehicle for development, a homegrown phenomena, not proliferating and employment generating industry. Given the ground conditions in our state, IT and tourism are two sectors offer least pollution and maximum employment generation. Tourism has the added advantage of benefiting both the highest and the weakest strata of society. In the highly political and media-driven environment in which we are living, any commercial activity needs to be well conceived, presented and executed. The positive aspects of tourism needs to be presented in the media so as to develop and maintain our state as a tourism-friendly one. Kerala is endowed with abundant natural beauty and moderate weather, leading it to be termed as God's own country. High ranges, beaches, backwaters, lakes are all situated within 3 to 5 hours from each other. Our culinary dishes provide great variety and taste. We possess a rich cultural heritage. Kalaripayattu, Kathakali, Mohiniyattam are all part of this heritage. Ayurveda, the science of life, has its origin in Kerala. Many European and other Arab expeditions from time immemorial have landed on the shores of Kerala and for the array of spices produced here. Apart from hotels and resorts, Kerala offers the option of homestays, houseboats and service departments. Innovative tourism products like houseboats and tree houses have evinced great interest among the visitors. Tourism in Kerala is largely developed by homegrown entrepreneurs with marketing support from the Department of Tourism. The public-private partnership in Kerala has been quite successful and serves as a model to other states. Joint promotion and participation in fairs and roadshows started decades back and is in vogue to this day. Kerala Travel Mart, held once in 2 years, is entering the 12th edition in September 2024. Though considerable effort has been made in building tourism as a product and in creating awareness about it, a lot more needs to be done in terms of support to the industry as well as in improving the infrastructure and facilities. The archaic land laws related to land holding, unused paddy lands and plantations have to be amended suitably. Moreover, the majority of entrepreneurs are novices in the field and they need guidance with regard to investment and marketing, a lack of which has led to a high percentage of failures. It is imperative that entrepreneurs do not make investments based on assumptions or hearsay and end up in disaster. A system could be put in place for imparting proper information and guidance in this matter. We all know the potential of tourism in the economic development of our state, and today our learned speakers here, Mr. Baby Matthew, Chairman and MD, Somathiram Ayurveda Group, Mr. Joel John, CEO of Rainmaker Signature Experiences, and Ms. Rita John Francois, Founder Mission Responsible Tourism Strategies, will be the speakers today. They take about 15 minutes each. And the moderator today is Mr. Jose Dominic, joined in the tourism industry in Kerala and founder of CGFR Experience. Our president of KTM, Mr. Jose Pradeep, is also here, and It is under his dynamic leadership that the KTM today is being held here. I would also like to welcome Nirmala Lilly, who is a co-chairman of the seminar committee. I welcome all these dignitaries here, as well as all of you who are present here, who have gathered here to make this meeting a success. I hand over the proceedings to Mr. Jose Dominic, and the speakers will be introduced by Mrs. Nirmala Lilly. Thank you, and welcome you once again.
Thank you, Chairman, for setting the tone. And nice to see all of you. Once again, good afternoon and hearty welcome to our first session. My task is to introduce the speakers, and the first speaker is going to be our immediate past president, Mr. B2B Matthew.
So now we begin the session. The title, The Way Forward. My name is Jose Dominic, and I'm happy to be with the panelists over here who have joined on the tourism industry. And there on the right of me, another Jose, Pradeep that is the current president of KTM. Left of me, president of KTM, Rika Rathod, who has been in KTM right, I think, from the beginning of KTM. Because David Matthew known last week I am not so familiar with, which is George John. The topic is the way forward. To understand the way forward, let us begin with where were we, where are we, and where are we going? Where were we? I go back to year 2000. I go back to year, so I speak of that time. I go back to year 2000 when KTM was conceived and came about. Today, we are now year 2024. Many things have happened, and principally what has happened is tourism has now become a matter of not just pride, but survival, but something so essential for the state. I recall in those times when a state like Kerala, which has in a political sense, left, tourism is considered to be luxury, capitalist and bourgeois. Today, from that time onwards, what has happened is tourism has been able to provide the most number of jobs, the greatest addition to the GDP of the state, almost in par with the farm sector. So in a lighter way, in the alliances that we have in political alliance, the most powerful party in government usually holds the total portfolio is handed over to the weakest. Today, let us say, it is held as the strongest. And we've seen, even yesterday, the number of people who are attending. This hall today also is filled with people. So tourism in the past, what we are for the future, the way forward. Kerala has shown a particular way forward, and that I think is what we need to comment on or take note of. Yes, when tourism began in a way in India, let us say call it the Golden Triangle, when Bombay, Delhi, Agra was the magic formula. Kerala happened much later, and when it happened, we were a young new starter, created a new model, a different model. While that was the Golden Triangle, that was forced Maharajas and the Indian rope trick. Here, it was young modern India, which showed that every day it can be magic and that ordinary can also be extraordinary. That diagram we see that the power of enterprise that came about. How tourism happened in Kerala. The red, I say that red kept Kerala green. And that's not meant to be that kind of flag, but that's the biggest favor Kerala, the red has done to Kerala, kept Kerala green by not allowing or not discouraging polluting manufacturing industries to come to Kerala. As a result, small entrepreneurs discovered the enterprise of Kerala, discovered, when I say the enterprise of Kerala, with their own capital, with their own know-how. So, in Malayalam, the word is, Kerala's asset was its anima, what it inherently possessed. So, with its own know-how, with its own capital, a new product emerged. That's the Kerala model of tourism. And that we see is now, and as a result of that, the model that shows resulted in another partnership among entrepreneurs and with the state, and that resulted in Kerala Travel Mart, which as a starter, now today is now emerged as India's largest travel marketing event. So the power of small, the power of local, the power of doing it yourself is evident in the Kerala product. Now going the way forward, this far, we have a great history, we have a great current. Going forward, where are we going? All over the world we hear the word over-tourism, we say roads are congested, are we doing more and should we do, are we doing more and more of the same? What is there to excite the new millennium? What is there to excite the next generation? And that I think is a big challenge that we have for. How can we keep the land and destiny as exciting as it was? And most importantly, as I like the definition of luxury. Luxury is when, for an evolved traveler, is when the consumer's interest does not overwhelm the interest of the planet or the community. In other words, in a manner of speaking, pardon me if the management students here to say, challenge that the customer is not king. King instead is the environment, the land on which we are born, we inherit. King instead is the community. Look after them, and then you have a destination which is ageless, which cannot get corroded and polluted. That is the magic that I think Kerala, the model that Kerala offers, and that I think is what world and modern India and modern Kerala needs. The way forward, I think, is that direction. Today we have such an energy of people coming together, working together to create in that model a new excitement, bringing people from here. The first day came year 2000. I recall the secretary then, the director then was Dr. Bedu, before yesterday, and the secretary then was Amitabh Khan. And in that event, the first time in the country, we had buyers from what we say from A to Z, from Argentina to Zanzibar, on all the countries in between. Never before has that happened in India. And never before even in Kerala was that the state partnership with the other program. The state, the first time, branded Kerala as God's own country. And that resulted in both on the supply side and the demand side getting right kind of customers here. Today I can way forward with we just come past and we get a major calamity. We passed 3 ages. One age I call BC, before COVID. Next age I would call DC, during COVID. Now we have a very exciting time, PC, post-COVID. That's a new normal, and that gives us the opportunity to redefine the destination, to go forward in our own magical way, to share in that vision, to share in that excitement. We have panelists, the first of whom will be the first panelist we have here is none other than Mr. Baby Matthew, who has the pioneering role to bring wellness and medical tourism to Kerala. It was Baby Matthew and his brother who, way back, before all this began, discovered that we have a magic, we have a wellness, or we have our own medical system called Ayurveda, and he has offered that to the world. Now I invite David Matthew to speak, to talk about his vision for the way forward in his domain. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Chairman, President, panelists, and dear friends and delegates. Today, the subject Kerala tourism, the way forward. Of course, geographics are almost started and mentioned. Little history about Kerala tourism, when it started, what is going on, what is the future. The tourism industry in Kerala believes in the objective of sustainability in tourism business, benefiting local community economically and socially, preserving and enhancing heritage and protecting environment. Dear friends, any tourism anywhere in the world, whether it is Kerala or in India, any country, that should be sustainable. About Kerala, tourism is nature. So it is very important when we talk about Kerala tourism, nature and environment is most important. Of course, local culture and tradition. This is also, we can see in other countries also, if you go, certain countries, we are going to experience the tradition or their culture, their cuisine. In Kerala, socio-economic development is also very important. A state like Kerala, very sensitive state like Kerala, very politically sensitive state like Kerala, socio-economic development is a part of Kerala tourism. Without that, it is very difficult to grow tourism in Kerala. When we talk about sustainable tourism or sustainability of tourism, we have to think about the present scenario of Kerala tourism, where we stand out globally and nationally. We all know today we are experiencing, we are witnessing Kerala Travel Mart. Now, the biggest travel mart of India. Nowadays we started talking, this is the biggest travel mart of Asia. So, Kerala tourism has grown because of the planned programs, ideas, thinkings, and implementation. You can see Mr. Joseph coming on the stage, Mr. Najib is sitting there, and Dr. Venu was there yesterday. He was there today in our venue. These are all some people from the government and from the public started aggressive promotion of Kerala. Of course, tourism was there in Kerala. They started in Kochi by our great Maharaja. But the rapid growth that started as a public-private partnership, and KTM is one of the reasons behind that. So now we are in a comfortable zone. Kerala is, I can say, Kerala is now in a comfortable zone. But how many people in the world know Kerala? People in Kerala, we think, what many of us think, oh, Kerala tourism is very popular everywhere, all over the world. Of course, in India, it is number one or number two or number three. I know my other nearby state friends are here. So I am not claiming we are number one always, but we are a model.
For the whole India, Kerala is a model. Even our KTM, many other states are repeating, or they have started similar marks after KTM started. So we can say Kerala is number one in India. But globally, where we are not in a major part of tourism activities globally. So there, still Kerala tourism, the whole fraternity, tourism fraternity has to work hard to get round the year business. As an entrepreneur, you are all, most of your business people, you are all investing money to sustain our business. Economically, we need round the year business. Unfortunately, in Kerala we have different climate. Unfortunately or fortunately, I can say even it's fortunately, I'm sorry I said that, unfortunately. We have good rain, good climate, good temperature. But different type of tourism depends on the climate. We cannot do all tourism activities around the year. There we have to find out different products. We have to think about, I'll come to that point, some of our products, Kerala destinations and products will come to that point. So around the business is one of the way forward for getting Kerala tourism go further and to make it economically sustainable. Dear friends, this phenomenon keep the present quality of the tourism destinations and tourism products. In many countries or many states or even Kerala, different certain destinations of Kerala, I don't want to name certain destinations, but there are certain destinations. It was running very well, but after some time, the destination is going down in many sense. The arrival of tourists, quality of the destination, activities of the destination. So it is very important. Kerala has to Kerala tourism or tourism fraternity has to keep the quality of that destination or any products. I don't have much time to go to different products. We are given only 15 minutes. He gave me 20 minutes. I thought I finished 15 minutes. So it is very important to keep the quality of the destinations and the product. There are some destinations that I don't want to name that the quality has gone down and tourism arrival has gone down. And it is very important upgrade or improve the quality. Here actually usually what is happening is once the tourists start coming to a place, to a destination, when more tourists are coming, everything, when the government or the institutions or NGOs or when the entrepreneurs thinks, oh, we are getting a lot of business, or we don't have to do much on this. So this problem is existing in certain areas still. So we should be very careful for getting a better future tourism in Kerala. I just want to touch some of these areas of tourism activities in Kerala. You all know these tourism activities happening in Kerala, but I just want to touch because certain among them few activities are very important. Of course, we have beach tourism, we have backwater, lakes and river tourism, we have health tourism, including Ayurveda and yoga, we have farm tourism, we have village tourism, we have hill station tourism, we have adventure tourism, we have mines, wedding, spiritual and cinema shooting. Kerala is very beautiful. If our government is giving subsidy to cinema shooting, all over India, already other states, people are coming for shooting in Kerala. People come from other countries also. So dear friends, here, after Goa I can say, Kerala has got beautiful beaches. So I have a request, sir, even our fraternity has to do something for keeping our beaches or reviving our beaches. We have very good beach in Kochi. We have very good beach in Manari. Go to Kannur. In between there are many beaches. So this is, people like beaches. If you study the travel, most of the groups are traveling to beach destinations. So this is one area we have to take to revive the beach tourism. Then backwater lakes and rivers. Unfortunately, I don't know how much we are taking care to keep the backwater or the water clean. Of course, we are all very vigilant. We are all talking in all our seminars. But anyway, our government is taking very good step along with the tourism industry to clean our beaches. Our lakes are clean actually, not to pollute much. For certain lakes, we have to make it more clean. There are other tourism areas among them. There's medical health tourism. Anyway, it is not there. Health tourism is another area. We have to, Kerala can concentrate. Kerala can become a health tourism hub or a wellness tourism hub. The responsible tourism mission, this is a movement of Kerala government. There is a subject, I think the guy is talking about responsible tourism, but why I mentioned this is, I want to correlate this with the other tourism activities of Kerala. Wherever there is tourism, any kind of tourism in Kerala, responsible tourism is very important. Without giving opportunities to the local people, especially in a state of Kerala, thickly populated, educated, and socially sensitive. In our state, we are giving that. I think we had last year, there was a international conference of responsible tourism in Kumbhaga, and now I think Kerala is number one. We are leaders on responsible tourism. Basically, to give opportunity to the basic local people, when the entrepreneur or a business, resort or hotel, they are getting benefit through the tourism, the local people also should benefit out of that. Then only that tourism will sustain. So our government is very much into this responsible tourism mission is there. We started this responsible tourism mission 2 years before. So what I want to say is, we are all part of that. There are many seminars happening on that. Definitely, we should give much importance for responsible tourism always. I have only 2 more things. Promotion of local arts and culture cuisine, clean Kerala movement, waste management and pollution. Difference, we have a clean Kerala movement also. And the waste management and pollution, there are different kinds of pollution. There also we are very sensitive, but there are certain pollution like sound pollution. We have strict law on that, but it is very difficult to implement, not only in Kerala, in India. But our government, recently we had a meeting with the tourism department, we are going to take it very seriously. Difference, potential medical and wellness tourism hub. So this is the point I want to discuss finally within 2 minutes. The future of Kerala. Definitely it can become a wellness hub or a medical tourism hub. We have Ayurveda, we have yoga and meditation, naturopathy, allopathy treatments, dental cosmetic treatments. Among them, Ayurveda, yoga and meditation. In Kerala we have lot of Ayurveda hospitals, lot of Ayurveda doctors. Our Ayurveda doctors are going around the world. many countries started Ayurveda small centers or big centers with Kerala doctors. So we have Ayurveda hospitals, Ayurveda colleges, lot of doctors, therapists, lot of medicine. So this advantage is there. And the climate. Even already Kerala is a hub of Ayurveda. So the future for becoming Kerala, the potential medical wellness hub in other areas also, allopathy treatment, general naturopathy, yoga, it is there. These are some of the reasons. Medical tourism, these are the influencing factors of that. What is cost, technology, experience of professionals, quality and comfort, service and hospitality, combination of holidays, nature and environment. Everything cost is very important. So if you compare, this is one chart, just for comparison, you see all these treatments, the lowest cost is in India. So yesterday our tourism minister was also speaking in the inauguration. We should make Kerala wellness hub or medical tourism hub. Dear friends, and concluding, whatever we do, visibility of Kerala tourism round the year globally, to get round year business is the way forward. That is visibility. This word visibility, if I start speaking, it may take more than 1 hour. To give visibility everywhere, in Kerala, in other states of India, around the world, we don't think Kerala is known everywhere. So, giving this visibility is a very big task. In that, actually, Kerala is number one in India. That is what we are doing now, this KTM. We people are going out of the world, attending many travel marts in different countries. Still I think we have to, Kerala tourism has to spend more money, more time, more energy to give the visibility round the year globally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. We will come back to the point that you raised in our discussion. The next speaker we will have, before we go to Rika, I will ask Joel John, the CEO and co-founder of Rainmaker Signature Experiences. Joel, you have here, we have to give you 15 minutes and you 10 minutes. And to be sure we will discuss that.
Good evening to all of the distinguished guests on stage, all of the panelists, and all you lovely ladies and gentlemen. I am Joel John, CEO, co-founder of Rainmaker Weddings. We started in 2011, and let me quickly show you a rundown of some of the things that we've been able to manage to do in the beautiful state of Kerala, at least post-COVID. So we have a video that is going to be played here.
Three, four.
From Jeffries, and India holds almost 45,000 crore of that valuation. These are some of the biggest weddings on the right side that you see there that had happened before the recent Ambani wedding. Any guesses on how big the Ambani wedding ticket was from the audience? How much? It was roughly 5,100 crores. It was separated around 4 events: the pre-wedding festivities, the Mediterranean cruise, the Sangeet, and the final wedding. And you had Rihanna, Justin Bieber, Backstreet Boys, celebrities like Shah Rukh Khan, international celebrities, business magnets, political leaders, everybody coming down. And this is the power of weddings, because they celebrate, all of us celebrate weddings. That's the current spending. Bracketed jewelry and gold takes the highest amount of bracket, almost 60,000 crores. Apparel takes 10,000 crores. Hotels and rooms are at number 4 at 5,000 crores. And decor comes way, way below. So as a planner, there's still, or as a tourism industry, there's still so much more. There's still so much more that we need to do to capture the captive audience of India and bring them to Kerala. What is it that anybody across the country or outside of the country looks at when they want to do a destination wedding or a regional event in India? They identify the country, they look at the weather conditions, tourism support, whether the policies are friendly, visa support, whether we get visas on arrivals, customs guidelines, can we declare gold and other goods beforehand? Because obviously carrying a lot of these into whichever country are hosting the wedding in. The liquor policies, fantastic hotels and venues. We've got 45 plus 5-star hotels and other classified resorts in our state. But honestly, only 13 to 14 of those hotels and resorts are wedding friendly currently. Only 23 to 24 of them are MICE friendly currently. There is a big gap from the Jodhpur, Udaipur, Jaipur and the Goa versus Kerala. Why are we not bridging the gap? Let's look at some of the other things that happen here. Roaming and banqueting, this is how we have divided the wedding segment. You've got big fat destination weddings, which is a pocket size of 400 people who spend 3 nights, which is roughly 200 rooms, and they will have between 5 to 6 events. So we've calculated roomings, food and catering, alcohol, beverages and others. Others would involve miscellaneous, laundry, spa and all the other spendings. There's close to 2.5 to 3 CR this pocket size will spend on each wedding. The next sector is the big intimate destination wedding, where the number of people are less. You're looking at 150 odd people, but even they will spend 90 lakhs over a span of 2 to 3 days. The third pocket is thin fat destination weddings. Their spending propensity is less. They may not go for the luxury rooms or luxury curated catering, but they will definitely do it rooms within 5,000 to 10,000 rupee budgets. They spend around 1 crore for a 2 or 3 day wedding. And the last one, which is the volume-based wedding segment that we not at all tap, is a small intimate destination wedding. The figures there are wrong, it's roughly 36 lakhs, please don't go by the pie there. But these wedding guests will be roughly 100, and there are so many big weddings that are happening across the country. These are the 4 big key pockets that we would ideally like to bring to our humble state of Kerala. Moving on. The next segment will be giant fat regional weddings. These are weddings or socials hosted by people who are NRIs or other business enterprises within these hotels, they spend a lot. Then you've got big fat regional weddings, which are 800 pax capacities. Thin fat regional weddings, spending propensity is less. And the small intimate regional weddings, which is 200 people, even they spend roughly 8.6 lakhs on food and catering. Those are not accounted into this slide. This is only banqueting. This is an event that was a big fat destination wedding, but I would like to show the next one. This is a small, not small, a big intimate wedding. The size of the crowd was less, 100 guests only, but it was a 3-day event hosted in Kumarattam. Can I have the video, please? Moving on, we've got event budgets. So initially we looked at banqueting and movings. This is the next big checklist that happens when any client, any other person within the country or outside the country thinks of doing a destination wedding in Kerala. So we've broadly classified them into event decor, event technicals, entertainment design, hampers gifting, makeup and styling, photo video, logistics, flights, jewelry and so on. So those are the approximate spendings for these different pockets there. Now we go into strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threat for Kerala. So Kerala has some of our biggest strengths. We've got 4 amazing international airports connecting to key global cities. We've got rich biodiversity, scenic beaches, backwaters, hills, heritage sites. We've got beachfront resorts, luxury hotels, palaces and eco-friendly destinations. And we've got high quality resorts and event spaces. Our weaknesses, we do not have enough excitement like places like Rajasthan, Goa or other countries like Sri Lanka, Thailand, UAE. The industry does not collaborate enough for large scale weddings and events. We don't come together. The difficulty in catering to large scale vegetarian food preferences, weather unpredictability for 5 to 6 months of the year, and most importantly, lack of aggressive and attractive state policies and underdeveloped event infrastructure. Opportunities. International destinations are becoming more and more expensive due to rising costs. Kerala provides a diverse array of options in terms of biodiversity. Kerala government and private players are already focusing on making the state event-friendly. Threats. Other countries like Sri Lanka have already made it visa on arrival. Thailand and UAE are already event-friendly. The next 5 to 6 seasons, the amount of weddings that are already going to Sri Lanka, Goa, Thailand, UAE is ginormous. It's not a small amount. That is an opportunity that we've already lost this year. We've got to start developing policies and understanding how we can bring all of these to our state. And favorable policies and from the state, which is again subsidies, rebates, favorable alcohol policies where we don't close at 11 p.m., etc. these are AI generated images, but we've largely been focusing on beach weddings, on backwater weddings, on heritage weddings. We want to move forward. You need to bring in paddy field weddings, you need to bring in adventure weddings, you need to bring in houseboat weddings, weddings where 30 caravans can go to Wagaman and you do a wedding sit out or a dine out there. So when we change the thinking, when we change the narrative, when all the ecosystem stakeholders come together, that is when we can bring a very big pie of the wedding industry to our states. And I would like to thank Raju sir, Raju Kanambura, who is also the founder of EMAT, who's been mentoring, guiding and leading these initiatives under the lead all of us, and he's been fostering us through EMAT to bring a lot of these things to the forefront, and hopefully we will all together be able to bring the change the tourism industry needs. Thank you.
Who holds the master degree in anthropology, uniting study and sustainable development. She's engaged socialism, so we'd like to hear the perspective of Kerala, and I think I most value her perspective because the long length of time she has been here, from year after year, from the time that Miss Kerala was dreaming of tourism, from the time in Kerala was venturing in experimenting tourism, from the time in Kerala is now looking forward to a new era in tourism. So John, over to you. 10 minutes.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me here on World Tourism Day. It's really an honor to be with you dignitaries. And I'm happy to be I'm always happy to be back in Kerala. This must be said, because I really believe that Kerala is one of the states who are a role model for sustainable tourism. And I'm always impressed on new developments. And I could also see the developments which have been made with the metro, with the e-rishkas, with women driving these rishkas, and also the boats, working with solar energy. These are all, and also resilience, a project of resilience for Kochi. All these are things which cannot be underestimated, and I want to thank you all for being part of it. Yeah, so I want to introduce you today to a subject which is maybe totally different from what you have been normally discussing. It's about getting engaged in diversity, equity, and inclusion, a concept which is part of responsible tourism and which has been, is globally discussed all over the world right now. I want to make clear from the very beginning that it's not about the cultural intervention. I still believe, and as you said, the cultural respect, the travelers should also have cultural respect when they visit a destination. This is not the subject. I just want to maybe open your minds for a new approach where diversity can also be embraced while still respecting the cultural history of a country. So, first of all, what does DEI stand for? It's about diversity, equity, inclusion, and it's a concept that includes all the people who are, for me, unacceptable reasons, excluded. So diversity is the presence and participation of individuals with varying backgrounds and perspectives, and including those who have been traditionally underrepresented. And I'm sure when you think, you will have a lot of ideas who could that be. So equity, equal access to opportunities, and fair, just, and impartial treatment, and inclusion, a sense of belonging in an environment where all feel welcome, accepted and respected. And this is in the heart of any responsible thinking, I think. So, well, equity differs from equality in an important way, while equity assumes that all people should be treated the same. equality, equity takes into consideration a person's unique circumstances. So this is a little difference. So why? The question is, why should a state like Kerala embrace DI? Why is it relevant? First of all, as I already mentioned, it is really discussed internationally right now. ITB Berlin, WTM, FITOR, WTTC, GSCC, everybody will have a session on DI. So we need to know what it is all about. So engagement has become a must in one or the other way in the travel industry, but also in the general corporate world. And it is not always embraced. I'm not saying that in the corporate world everybody says, oh yeah, we want to be diverse, we want to embrace this subject. There is some conservatism trying to block it, but especially tourism, which is a progressive industry, is quite open to the concept. And this is very important, the new generation, Z, and the upcoming new generation of customers and travelers expect a different and more open approach. They won't travel to a destination where they know that people are not open to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Because there are a lot of allies also. It's not only the people who are discriminated against, but it's also their friends and allies. And the young generation, they travel together. Things have changed also in this area. So, and I see also here in India, really, that there are a lot of private industry, hoteliers, carriers, in cultural institutions who have a real strong interest in opening up to the concept. So I think it should be also governmentally embraced. Because the DI engagement to let people know that you are open can bring a new inflow of affluent travelers, because especially also if we talk about the LGBT community, it's a real strong affluent traveler group, and I'm sure the weddings you were talking about, once it would be legalized by the Supreme Court, or also if it's only for a feast, not a real wedding in that case, I'm sure that the gay community, they love this kind of wedding insurance, and they are very affluent customers, as I said. So for a company to get engaged in DI also raises the competitive capability and also for a destination. And it's also a thing which can strengthen your workforce internally. Because if you have a diverse workforce, things change. And first of all, and I have some slides, I'm saying the same, that being responsible means being actively committed to society as a whole, and to foster tourism developments which give like dignity, security, and justice for all the participants. So social as well as ecological responsibility needs to be embedded in all tourism activities. I think this is something here in Kerala everybody knows very well. So there is no true sustainability without diversity, equity, inclusion embedded in it, and justice. And nowadays, what everybody says is that it's not anymore a nice to have, but it's true sustainability, which balances the total bottom line of people, planet, and profit. So, and it's part of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is legally binding basis for corporate policy. And the international human rights laws lay down obligation which businesses and destinations are bound to respect. So we need to integrate them also in our supply chain. Because, and this is also interesting for your business, I think, there are new regulations, for instance, from the European Union. Companies must ensure compliance with human rights among their entire supply chain. There's this new, many of you have heard about it, Supply Chain Act. And this includes the obligation to annually report on their social engagement performance. So this supplier code of conduct, I mean, all the companies when you work with the German source market, for instance, or other European source markets, contain this internationally accepted principle on ethical conduct, health and safety, and also the social aspects. So tourism agencies need to check and map the due diligence of human rights in their supply chains in the destinations you work with. So because the companies you work with, they will have to report on the performance of their partners here in Kerala. So, yes, I'm just one slide. Human rights, Roundtable for Human Rights in Tourism is an initiative which really helps to foster human rights because we need synergies. It's a multi-stakeholder approach. So if you're interested, you can check that out. And yeah, it's also part of the UN sustainability goals because we all talk about the SDGs. The societal dimension should not be neglected for the environmental dimensions. GSCC, you know, I was on the board for many years for Global Standards for Sustainability in Travel and Tourism. They have also added now missing principles. And yeah, it's, the UN has also this policy of leave no one behind. So the focus is on overcoming discrimination and inequalities. That means equal access to public transport, public spaces, but also equal access to work, housing, etc. for marginalized communities. And it's also a move towards gender equality. And I think we all still have to work a lot on gender equality in tourism if it comes to the management. So, DEI engagement for human rights, for diversity and inclusion. It is, there are so many unconscious bias, there are so many, or even structural racism or homophobia or whatever, which we carry within us, all of us, but which have to be addressed somehow. People are discriminated against because of gender, because of women, because of age, because of or ethnic background, because of the color of your skin, your sexual orientation, your religious beliefs, your physical ability or neurodiversity, which people sometimes don't see, medical condition, your appearance, and the social status. And this is against human rights. So the goal of DEI policies is nothing else but to create a more diverse, equitable and inclusive space for travelers, but also in your back office, for your staff and your partners. And in Europe, where we have a really properly defined workforce, it's a competitive thing. If you embrace AI, candidates will seek you out. They won't go to the conservative company. So, can responsible tourism products be truly sustained when designed by a homogeneous group of people? Can they effectively respond to all matters and concerns of diverse community members, especially of those of marginalized groups? If you want to cater to the black traveler from the US, for instance, you cannot have white people, white images. And if you also want to attract people, queer people, you have to show couples. You don't need to show them kissing, just show them that they are there together, having fun, traveling around. If you want to be accessible, you need to show people also in wheelchairs, so blind people. I really liked yesterday when the singer who was blind. I really appreciated it. So, so diversity of gender, race, nationality, creed, sexual orientation, gender identity, etc. is a company's workforce, enables it to better represent what the customer base looks like, because your customer base is diverse. So, so tourism must meet, as I just said, these needs of the customer groups, and do all the promotional material according to that. So, and there have been like statistics that companies which implement the policies and hiring practices to create a more living culture where all employees are welcome and encouraged to thrive, not to hide. These companies respond better, according to research, to challenges. Any challenges? They are more effective in problem solving. Enhance business innovation, increase productivity, and raise the competitive capability, build better reputation and positive brand image, increase customer loyalty, and you get top talent recruitment. And there is a lower employee turnover because people feel they can be who they are. And you would not be brand as ignorant, that's also important. And in the long term, it increases profitability and reduces costs. So, well, I think I don't have too much time, but if you want to know more about it, we can talk about it later. The top management, this is key, has to be championing the efforts. If there's no commitment from the management, things don't work. And you need, of course, as in every business strategy, your mission, guiding framework, you need fairness and equity principles. You need to guarantee accountability. You have to do something to mitigate implicit bias and outline non-discrimination and anti-harassment policies so that people know where to go, who to address. That's very important. And this has to be done. It doesn't make sense if you say we do it, and then somebody, a woman, for instance, is getting sexually harassed experience in it, so she needs that something will be done, somebody will support her. The management is behind it. This is very important. So, and yes, trainings for everybody, for all. And you should also check existing best practices because there are a lot of people who are already doing the right thing. So some people say, why don't you just work on the training for diversity, equity, inclusion for everybody? People who need medical help, people who are black or people of color. So why don't you work with everybody? Gender equality. But you know, there are special vulnerabilities in each of the marginalized groups. And so you need to address authentically each of the marginalized groups. So in this case, with Queer Destinations, that's a company I'm also representing now as head of international relations, is like a company which was founded by activists, people who suffered from being discriminated against. And they want to be the bridge that connects the private travel industry, destinations, governments or institutions, as well as people and collectives with the LGBT community in that case. And how is this facilitated? It's facilitated by providing strategic advice, of course, and the most comprehensive, sensitizing awareness and training program for 100% of the staff. Because if you don't train 100% of the staff, the gardener or the car driver might be not positive if they see like a gay couple. And it doesn't mean displaying affection when you travel. That's private. This needs to be respected. But at least to treat everybody like everybody else with the same respect. This is nobody wants anything else. No special pampering. But to know to do that and to know the do's and don'ts, you need to train 100% of your staff and not only the guy on the front desk. So, and when you are trained, that's what Queer Destination does. There is a distinction, like a standard of excellence, internationally recognized, which you can put on your website or in the entrance of your hotel, and people who arrive will feel safe and respected. That's all. So I know I have to finish. So Coming back to Kerala, I think tourism is a major contributor, to Kerala's economy. And the tourism industry, we have all seen that can be a vehicle for positive change, build bridges, and play a unique role in advancing human rights as well. And I just went to see one of the old synagogues here in Kochi, and there was a sign saying a blessing called religious diversity. Kerala society has looked upon religious diversity as a wealth and never as a problem. And this is very moving, and I think, so why not embracing diversity as a general concept, not only religious, but any. So thank you, Nandi. And let's stay in touch. Thank you.
Then from Joel and then Rika. Kerala, where does it stand? In my mind, Rika speaking, if at all any destination that's a very tall order, very ambitious requirement of equality, diversity, and inclusion. To be anywhere close to that, to my mind, I said, I thought that if at all any destination is closer than others, perhaps Kerala has just claimed to be there. With those thoughts, and we have an audience here who is expecting, and we have got about 15 minutes, we can have a discussion and on the subjects that have been raised here, on the way forward. On subjects that have been raised here about sustainability, inclusivity and diversity. All opposite to each other. Yet how do they fit together? In this time that we are in, when we've gone past many calamities, as you get, we've had many calamities. The last one, a global calamity, the COVID calamity, and a new normal. And then, of course, Mr. Joel talked about a new subject. My friend in Rajasthan tell me, we don't want tourists, we just want weddings. That's the kind of money that flows in. That's the kind of engagement to craftsmen, musicians, to prepare a wedding venue that opens up. And of course, maybe that will talk about how Kerala has a very, very special position in the world of wellness and health, and Ayurveda, and how does it all fit together? And the way forward, are we on the right track? Did we do the right things in the past? What shall we do in the forward? Events like KTM, events like seminars like here are opportunities for expression of ideas. I think people like the media will carry it. We will all take this view with us, and we will now examine it year to year. From year 2000 and every 2 years we've been having this discussion. Is it the same? The new generation is what Rika was talking about. The new generation of travelers, new generation expectation, the new generation of the expectancy of the state, of the people, what can tourism deliver? Is it as an industry? In terms of economy, in terms of preserving our environment, in terms of recognizing social and cultural issues. These are the subjects that I will raise today. If I see a hand raised, I'll call the person concerned. I think I see Sandeep's hand raised. Sandeep, there are yes.
Thank you, Jose, for the very sort of rewarding introduction and amazing speakers, Rika and everyone. Thank you, sir. But I have one question. We talk about responsible tourism, and the question I have, very much, I think, very important point about the value of beach and the beach, wonderful benefit of the beaches that we have in the state, provide beach tourism. Do we have a responsible beach safety program as we have in Goa? Goa has a very, very robust, Goa has taken the last 25 years a strong beach safety like a pay-walk service, 100 kilometers of the coastline, where many operators have told us that they've seen great value in safety of lives. And now with the surge in domestic tourism and sometimes irresponsible tourism, beach safety services play a very, very critical role. Just to give you a heads up, I have told that over the last 15 years, nearly 7,000 lives have been saved. So that's one question, one point, sir. The other point to my friend, Mr. Joel John, very impressive, very dynamic, and we are in North India, so we are sort of very, and in fact, at the moment I have a very request for, certainly not in Kerala, but in Kochi, and there's many reasons for that, and that is something we need to discuss. But I will urge you to please keep the position there, and don't look for the big fat destination wedding. I don't think Kerala deserves it. Kerala is a far more pristine, beautiful, responsible, and a sustainable destination, as we've heard. So, position your wedding market also into that segment, sub-segment. Otherwise, you call it the ideal place to have boutique weddings, private weddings, intimate weddings. But I think the destination is best. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep. Will maybe Matthew talk about the beach safety?
We have very strong regulations and laws in Kerala. For example, this coastal soil management plan and rules to protect all shores of Kerala. We have 600 kilometers of sea. There are many beaches, beautiful beaches. We have laws. We have the coastal policies there. There are coast guard is there. We have lifeguards are there, and laws are there. And a state like Kerala is very particular. We cannot just make any construction anywhere, as in certain places we are doing. It is there actually. But the problem what happens to Kerala is, that is what in my conclusion I call visibility. So nowadays, it's a thing that Kerala tourism has to retail. We are not promoting our beaches. We have beautiful beaches. But the visibility of our beaches during the last few years is not much. There we are going to revive those visibility activities. I mean, the marketing, different kind of marketing activities. In short, I mean, using different media, so social media, participating exhibitions, different other types of using different tools of marketing. So that we were not doing for the last 10 years. I think. That definitely, I think, this is what I want to say. We have very good potential for beach tourism in Kerala. Those are there, but we should revive it. We should do the visibility or marketing work. That's all.
Sandeep will also raise the subject of weddings and an opinion about the kind of weddings we have. If a wedding is something, and the biggest subject of discussion in the last few months, the biggest ever wedding. Now we are here. Give a direction that we will do how Kerala should go. You have Joel will answer that.
Sandeep sir, so just like other states like Goa and Rajasthan, they are front runners in the wedding industry. Kerala has the bandwidth to accommodate all the pockets that I mentioned. So there are hotels and resorts in excess of 150 rooms and ballrooms and auditoriums and convention centers which is 20,000, 15,000 square footage of spaces. So when we have these large spaces and when we are logistically rich with these 4 airports, you can also accommodate these bigger pockets because they bring in the big weddings, and we're just 1 or 2 celebrity weddings away from putting Kerala on the global roadmap in terms of being one of the best wedding friendly destinations in the country. When those weddings will happen and how much noise we will make, and the sooner we make is the question, and we will immediately be looked upon as a favorable destination for the big ones. The boutique ones or the intimate ones or the retreat weddings or the Kama ones are anyway happening, but they are also far and few. We need to position different places according to the strengths of those destinations. Like Komal, Tekri, Bagaman, Munnar can become the intimate boutique venues. Kochi, Trivandrum, Kovalam can become big fat wedding venue. So the positioning can be reversed, and this is something a lot of the collaborators and stakeholders will have to come together and push Kerala tourism towards wedding, destination weddings and nights. Only then can that market be really be opened up. Thank you.
Your name, please.
My name is Rohit Handri from KTM Travel Media. My question is, I think so much of work is happening in Kerala with regard to the number of properties that are coming up. With I think a lot of hotels here with fascinating banquet halls and great. I think if Kerala needs a convention bureau, where it is back, with so much of inventory that's coming, so much of banqueting space that is coming in, with the improved connectivity, Kerala has always been an aspirational, nice venue. I think we need to have industry to get together and create a convention bureau.
So, your question, perhaps Mr. Rajiv will answer, will give you a context to that.
Thank you, what Roman said is excellent idea because we have a large convention centers, medium convention centers, and small convention centers. And as far as weddings and conventions are happening in these places, mostly domestic from India as well as from Kenya. The importance of ICPT reactivating in Kerala is very important, very top priority item. ICPT has started earlier in Kerala, then it was not functioning very well. Recently also they have actually restarted that ICPT